This is our first episode on Twitch. Scholesy Talks has been a podcast for a fair old while in various different ways. It first started as a podcast where I talked about comic books and pro wrestling. It moved on to talking about world issues such as ADHD, mental health and stuff like that. I've come to Twitch to reboot, restart, recreate this whole project. Yes, the podcast will still be going on, but this is going to be my main source from now on. Okay, where every Sunday at 10 p.m. I am going to be talking about Ring of Honor and AEW Pro Wrestling. And once a week, me and my wife, because we are gamers, we love wrestling games, we love anything from the N64 upwards pretty much. We are going to be playing the new AEW game. That will be starting in July because the game's not out yet. But I'm here today to talk about wrestling. I'm talking about how excited I am about pro wrestling. And I want to talk about Orange Cassidy versus Swerve, the open challenge. And this is my personal theory on how I would book or do whatever if I was Tony Khan. So, Orange Cassidy, I've been following this guy since he was Fire Ant Man. He is currently 24-0. I mean, unbeaten. He is doing absolutely incredible things for AEW. He is a cult name. He is one of these guys where you sort of look at what he does and you are in legit awe. Okay, and I think that is the important thing to remember about Orange Cassidy. You are in awe with what he does. That stuff where he puts his hands in his pocket and he's jumping about, absolutely insane and incredible. And he goes into this match with Swerve, and Swerve's a geezer, mate. Swerve is an opportunist. Swerve is a good mat wrestler. He goes into this match injured. I mean, he's feeling it. He's feeling tired. He's broken. You see he's got all them sort of like bandages on his arms, and we know that he can't quite hit his Superman punch great. Alright, but he goes into this match still. And you know what? Swerve, he's a clever geezer. He's a hustler. Man, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is working Orange like a beast. That mat wrestling ability is incredible. And you know what? Orange does his thing. Orange does his thing. He is the king of what I would say is counter wrestling. Alright, he can counter absolutely everything that's possibly available for him to do. And what's important about this match is clearly a storytelling match. A storytelling match that tells a tale of a guy that has been killing it for 23 matches. He comes into this 24th, he's battered, he's bruised, his ass has been whooped. Okay? Alright? And he is still going. He's still going. We know in Double or Nothing a few weeks back, he said he isn't one of the best in the world. I mean, he needed his best friends, legitimately his best friends, Trent and Chuck, to have his back for him to win that Battle Royale. Personally, I'm not going to lie, as a Brit, do you know who I wanted to win that? I wanted Kip Sabian to win it. Because I think Kip Sabian's a very, very special wrestler. As he calls himself as the forgotten pillar of AEW. Because he's been there from the beginning, man. He's been there from the beginning. And I think he'll get his opportunity at some point in the future. But he needed his friends to do this. But he goes into this on his own. Goes to the ring on his own. And he does win the match. He wins the match. He wins the match. Not convincingly. Swerve did some great things. But as I said, Orange is the man that can counter wrestle. And that was what was important about this match. The storytelling concept. So everybody always goes to me, well, wrestling's fake. Oh, just shut. As soon as somebody says that to me, I'm like, come on, man. Action movies, man. Come on. Predetermined ending doesn't mean this stuff doesn't hurt. But the thing about it is you class wrestling as an action movie. That's what it is. It is an action movie. It is a action-based ballet of art. And I think this is the thing. This match was telling a story. It wasn't necessarily about what was going on in the ring. It was building to what could be happening. And this is where I'm going to jump into theory base, because this Orange did win this match. And don't get me wrong, after the match, Swerve and his little party posse went in there and beat the crap out of Orange. And guess who comes out and saves them? Sting and Darby. Sting and Darby. Do you know what I mean? The legend and the guy that's going to be in 10 years' time a manager legend with himself. they come out and save him. But this is where I'm going to jump with this. So, open challenges aren't a new thing. Jade Cargill pretty much had one with the TBS title, and she went 60-0 till she lost the belt recently to Chris Statlander. And again, great stuff. But I want to talk about probably the most famous one in modern wrestling is the US title open challenge John Cena, and what was important about this and how this could be something WWE picks up for another wrestler. But let me hear me out first, people. Hear me out. So John Cena's open challenge wrestling thing, everybody thinks it was a lot longer than it actually was. It was roughly about 8 weeks. It was about 2 months. And John Cena had great matches against people like Sammy, people like Neville or Pac, because he's in AEW these days. And I personally think this was the best run of his career because he was fighting a bunch of mid-carders. He jumped down a level and went in to fight mid-carders. All right? And there's nothing wrong with this because mid-carder wrestling tends to be the storytelling based wrestling. X Division, Impact, story-based wrestling, and you look at quite a lot of the guys that come out of that, they've been world champions, such as AJ Styles, such as Josh Alexander. I think Trey Miguel in the future will be a major champion himself anyway. All right, in whatever promotions he could be in anything, and he'll be a major champion because he's that good. And this was the thing about it you have to remember. So Cena jumped down a level, made this US title the biggest thing in the world for 8 weeks, an open challenge. Anybody could walk out and basically want to scrap Cena. And it was a storytelling concept of a fighting champion. A champion that wanted to put his dukes up, go and scrap, go and prove that he had the ability to be a champion. And this is what Cassidy's done and Jade Cargill's done as well. Okay, and back in the day we used to see it all the time with the TV titles, the NWA TV title and stuff like that. I mean, you look at them, you look at the NWA TV title, it's a great example for wrestling history. In fact, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson held that title, Stone Cold Steve Austin held that title as well. So this is the thing about it is, legit champions can hold mid-card belts. Legit top-class wrestlers can hold mid-card belts because it's been a very recent thing. The mid-card belts become a second thing. The Intercontinental Championship. As a Brit, I became a wrestling fan in 1992. All right, a wrestling fan in 1992 when who else won that belt was British Bulldog, the British Bulldog. Okay, and that belt was more important than any other belt for a long time. I mean, Kurt Hennig, flipping Honky Tonk Man. Do you know what I'm saying? And look, currently you've got Gunther holding that belt, and I think that belt as a mid-card belt is far more important. You look at the TNT belt in AEW. Cody Rhodes had a good run, Sammy had a good run, Darby had a good run. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the late great Luke Harper, Brody Lee had a decent run. I loved his story stuff. He was a great storyteller. And this is the thing. So the ability with a mid-card belt is to tell the story, to tell the tale, and to push forward what can be done with it. And the point that I brought up John Cena is you can be at the heights of the heights, jump down to a mid-card and tell great stories. Now this is where I change things up slightly, and we think about it slightly different from an AEW perspective. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm an AEW man, I'm a Ring of Honor man, I'm an Impact Wrestling man, but I want to focus solely on AEW and Ring of Honor on this channel. Now, if I'm dream booking, right, I am going to All In Wembley. It's the most exciting thing that's happened, I think, in the UK for a long time within the wrestling business. People can say Clash of the Castle or whatever, but I think since 1992, nothing has been this big in wrestling. And all kudos to Tony Khan. Dream big, man. Dream big, and you get big things. And this is what he's got. He's got Wembley, 70 plus thousand fans. It is the place, mates. It is the mecca of stadiums in the UK. It is so exciting. So exciting. Okay? But this is what I want to happen. AEW has got a Saturday show. Now, this Saturday show looks very much like the Nitro, WCW Nitro symbol. It's got the TNT badge there. Very clear, very clear that it is there. And I think if I was Tony Khan, right, I would be pushing the TNT or the Mid-Atlantic belt onto that channel as a permanently weekly thing. All right, hear me out why. I do understand that there's going to have to be story built into this, story tells and stuff like that, storytelling into this, and that's important because I believe that's what wrestling is about. It's about the storytelling and the wrestling. They work together perfectly. And I think, for me personally, I would like to see a main event or co-main event at All in Wembley. CM Punk versus somebody like Wardlow or Orange Cassidy to win one of these mid-card belts, to make that Saturday night, okay, about an open challenge. Look, man, we crack through all our matches on the Saturday night. Every Saturday we see CM Punk defending this title. It could be against legends. It could be against newbies. All right, but it will make the show exciting. It will make the show so exciting that you will get all the casuals that are going to Wembley, because it's the great thing about Wembley. I'm basing quite a lot of Wembley because I'm seeing this as sort of like AEW's mid-season sort of like thing kicking off here. And if it went to Wembley, and let's just say he wins the international belt there, okay, beats Orange, all right, or beats whoever holds that title, the week after takes it to AEW, is it Collision or whatever it's going to be called? I always get that name wrong. Okay, all right. I could see people wanting to win that belt from CM Punk. You could have anybody in the wrestling industry jump up for that belt. Anybody in the wrestling industry, and you could have a week on open challenge competition. Now that's what I want from AEW. If I get it, it's a different ball game. You know what I'm saying? It's all guessing. I'm sort of like I'm a wrestling mark. You know what I'm saying? And people could be watching this thinking I'm mental, but I think stuff like this will grab the fans and keep the casuals that are going. Okay, because at the end of the day, look, we'll talk about the Punk thing for a second, because I think the Punk thing's a very, very important thing. Do I think AEW needs Punk? No, I don't. Do I think having Punk will bring people in? Yes, I do. Do I think this Saturday night show is going to bring people in? Yes, I do. Do I think people are going to want to put themselves into this product a hell of a lot more? Yes, I do. And that's what I think is important for wrestling. Okay, is about having something that can draw you. I used an example a little while ago, is Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant comes over to America and he's dragged around all the territories, and people are generally interested in the man because he's 7 foot bloody tall. Okay, alright. He has hands that are 10 times the size of mine. But he can move around the territories, stay there for 7 weeks, move around the territories, and he's an attraction. And it's not a bad thing, because he could wrestle as well. He wasn't a bad little wrestler, you know what I'm saying? But he was an attraction. And people love attractions, and that's what CM Punk fundamentally is. He's an attraction because he kicked some ass in WWE with the pipe bomb. Great, it was a great promo. You can't live off something like that forever, but a lot of the marks do. But he's also known because of the UFC stuff he's done. He's known because he wrote a really cool comic book series with the character Drax and stuff like that. And if you jump on my podcast, I talk about all that sort of stuff. So CM Punk is not needed, but he will bring fans in, and that's the important thing. And I think with this Saturday night show, we'll do exactly the same. And I think it would be a good idea if you had people like FTR that was permanently based on that show, because it will bring people in, because FTR's known. Dax Harwood, man, he's got the biggest mouth in the world. He chats to everybody. He's constantly on Twitter calling people out. He's constantly putting his point across, and he has an actually awesome podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is the point that I'm trying to make here. Is Orange Cassidy has done a great job. 23-0. All right, open challenge. Take it to AEW Wembley. Put Punk up for that belt. All right, let him win it. Let him win it. Just give it to him. Okay? And then have it as a weekly challenge in AEW. It could happen for a year. It could be for 6 months. but it's a thing that will work, and it is something that will kick some ass and bring the wrestling fans in. Now that's my viewpoint on it. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's my viewpoint, no one else's viewpoint. Tony Khan won't give a crap what I say because he'll do what he wants. But I'm thinking about how to make a kick-ass product. Alright? I'm thinking what I want to see as a fan, and what my wife, my children, and many other guys want to see as a fan. Because Tony Khan, interestingly enough, said on Ring of Honor last night, he made this point of saying, I'm the booker and I listen to you. And I think this could be the way forward. We don't need to give Punk that heavyweight championship belt. Leave it on MJF for 10 years. I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm fundamentally more interested in TV titles. The Ring of Honor TV title. If he had the Ring of Honor TV title, but I prefer that to be defended in Ring of Honor. If he had the TNT, that would be a great belt. Or the Mid-Atlantic belt would be a great belt. But I think that's what Punk needs. He needs some bling bling, all right, to push this product forward. And something exciting to think about. And I think, look, where John Cena did it for 8 weeks, this could go on for 18 months if it's done right. And I think they were trying to do that at the beginning of the TNT belt with Cody Rhodes. I mean, we had Warhorse there, we had Eddie Kingston there as well. I believe we had Ricky Starks there. We had all sorts of guys there doing that and doing that well. I mean, Ricky Starks, look at Ricky Starks right now. Having these matches makes wrestlers. He was headlining the other night. So this is what you need. And he's a former, interestingly enough, NWA TV champion in himself. And this is what we need to grow the product. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to talk about wrestling. I'm here to give my viewpoint. I'm here to talk to all you guys as well. And eventually when I grow an audience, I'm here to be criticised and have banter and have debate about stuff like this, because this is what a community is about. This is what a wrestling community is about. We all have different viewpoints. We all see the product moving in different specific ways at different specific times. And we all see something growing differently as well. So listen to me. This is a little snippet of what you're going to get if you tune in on a Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is a little bit of what you're going to get when me and my wife eventually do our Twitch gamey sort of like thing for the new AEW game. You are going to get this. I'm a passionate wrestling fan. Look, you can see my stuff behind me. I'm passionate about this product. I'm passionate about AEW. I am passionate about Ring of Honor, more passionate about Ring of Honor than AEW fundamentally. Okay, and this is what I'm bringing to this. This is not the first episode. I take that back. This is 0. Right, the first episode will be out on Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, 1 hour. We will be talking about everything AEW. We'll be talking about everything Ring of Honor. Okay, please, please, please put it in your diaries. Notifications, subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. But please, let's get involved, man. Let's get a conversation going, because this is good stuff. Wrestling is exciting. I grew up in the 90s. There was 2 shows we could watch. Oh yeah, all right, fine. We could go to indie shows, but there's 2 shows on TV. We could watch WCW after Cartoon Network on TNT in the UK. Sorry, I hit my mic there. Or we could watch WWE. Do you know what I mean? Now we have so much wrestling. So much wrestling. And we have the choice of what we want to enjoy. Okay? So listen to me. Thank you for listening, if you have listened, for me going on for 20 minutes. Okay? Alright. But this is a little snippet of what we're going to do every single Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Welcome to Scholesy Talks, people. Welcome to Scholesy Talks.